Cast your mind back to 2021, where Arsenal Football Club were linked with Italian international Manuel Locatelli. Then he was at Sassuolo. Since then, he has joined Juventus, as you guys know. Allegedly, a move to Arsenal was very close. His brother has said such. And also then Sassuolo director said there was heavy interest from England and name dropped specifically Arsenal Football Club. Or even Fabrizio Romano, his fellow countryman, said the same, people. Since then, Google reports, news tabloids, and things of that ilk have once again linked us with Locatelli. And allegedly, he is on Arsenal's summer transfer list of targets as we look to sign a central midfielder. An area, undoubtedly, I'm sure a lot of us Arsenal fans thinks needs addressing. So it begs the question, does it make sense to go again for Locatelli? As we already know, Manuel Locatelli is an Italian international, currently at Juventus, previously played for Sassuolo, and he's best known for a number of attributes. You know, his passing ability. He does have an exceptional passing range, both long and short. He has a keen eye for creating goal-scoring opportunities and effectively can contribute, to distributing the ball to teammates in further advanced positions. I do think his movement is very good. He makes a number of great surging third-man runs. I do think he's got vision, and his vision on the field allows him to execute passes to a precise nature, which at times can break defensive lines, although this could be an area of improvement. I wouldn't quite say he can dictate the tempo of a game, but he can help to orchestrate potential plays from midfield. I wouldn't say he's the best defensively, but I would praise him for his defensive capabilities. He's a bit of a, pardon my language, a shithouser. He'll put in a shift, he'll make tactical fouls. He does relish the physical battle in that. And in that regard, I do think he's quite strong defensively. I think he likes to intercept passes and make crucial tackles and ensure that we regain and retain possession, people. I do think, as you would imagine, with a number of these Italian players, people, Italy is a fantastic footballing nation. He plays with a high level of composure, especially on composure in high pressure environments. He has a lovely ability to read the game and ultimately make smart decisions, which could contribute significantly to our overall performance. Lovely close control. I do think his ball control is excellent, and I do think his balance is excellent. I do think he's able at retaining possession, and I do think it can be difficult to get the ball off him. He's very much a cultured midfielder in that regard. I wouldn't say he's a dribbler, more a ball carrier, but he can get the ball and drive further forward, and he's 6 foot plus, so that would be a lot of physicality brought into the team. You would have seen over the last 2 months, in 2 years, in particular, with Kai Havertz, with Declan Rice, with Saliba and Gabriel becoming first choice centre halves, we're getting a lot more height in our team. I do think he's got an impressive work rate. I do think he's got composure and intelligence, and I do think he's got a lot of stamina and durability. He rarely ever gets injured, people. In fact, some say he's known for his work rate and stamina, his ability to cover large areas of the pitch, people, which that dynamism and that dynamic approach is something that really and truly only Declan Rice at Arsenal has. We know Thomas Partey is a good player, but we rarely ever see him. Jorginho's obviously a professional athlete, but when the game's quite open in that regards and it's not really a chess match, that's where he struggles. I don't think he's particularly fast. I do think he's a quick thinking player. He's a thinker's man's footballer, and he's got that Italian elegance to his game, which helps him read the game well. So in short, a defensive work rate, tactical intelligence, ball winning abilities, feisty Italian passion, has the intelligence and capacity to make runs off the ball, similar to what we've seen this season with Declan Rice and previously with Xhaka in that advanced 8 role. During his time at Juventus, personally, I would describe it as mixed. I don't think he's hit the heights that probably internally Juventus want himself or the fan base, people. He has once again been linked with Arsenal, as stated, as we look to sign a central midfielder. I think it's clear that Mikel Arteta wants to upgrade on certain areas in our team, and midfield has to be a priority as we look to get a long-term partner for Declan Rice. Could you imagine if we finally solved the midfield puzzle of having Declan Rice, Odegaard, and whoever that new central midfielder is, people? They are some of the necessary additions I believe this football club needs for next season. A winger, a striker, a central midfielder, and maybe another defensive body. For me, while you would describe Locatelli as a mezzala, people, I do think he's probably thrives when he has box-to-box duties in the team. I think he's got the engine, the dynamism, the tactical and technical level to thrive there. I don't personally like him in a deeper midfield role. So in theory, if Arsenal were to sign him, I would probably want Rice to be the 6. I don't think his playmaking from deep is really good enough. I think considering the fact that he makes good further runs into the box and he is quite good in the final third, I don't think he gets enough goals. Although you can see collectively and individually for a number of our players, even Declan Rice, that is something Mikel Arteta has looked to improve upon, if I'm completely honest. I don't think he's the quickest of midfielders either, which in the Premier League, that could obviously put you in serious problems. I do think you don't see his passing range. As much as I've described his long and short passing range is quite good, I don't think he displays that on a consistent basis. And I also feel he struggles with consistently playing at a higher level. But there's a lot of things to like about him. He's got 242 Serie A apps, people, which shows there's a wealth of experience. He has 21 assists, but only 12 goals. So I'm not going to kill a man for if your goals are not a strong point, but that's something that could improve. Every player on the planet could be described as a systemic player or a player that is a system player. But I think he's one of those footballers that is very much a system player. You need probably 2 midfielders around him to cover certain roles to allow him to thrive. I don't think he's good enough in a pivot, people. So he is very system reliant in that regards, people. I do think at times during his time at Juventus, he's looked like he's lacked confidence. He looked a lot better at Sassuolo / initially at Milan. We all know he played a key role for Italy during the Euros winning campaign with the Jorginhos, the Barellas, and the fantastic Italian quality they have. So again, at times, you know, if I had to find anything, considering his height, I don't think he's strong enough in terms of aerial duels. I do think at times, you know, he needs to channel that Italian passion in the right way, and his aggressiveness in the Premier League could come back to haunt him. I think, you know, for all his abilities and willingness to get into the final third, I think goal scoring has to improve. I think he needs to improve his finishing and contributing more in the final third in terms of goals and assists, but also the first action before the goals and assists, and just general contribution needs to go up in that regards, people. Physicality for someone that I think can throw their weight around. Sometimes he can be thrown to the floor a bit too easily and struggles physically in that regards. But I do think that's something that could be improved upon. I think the biggest issue is consistency. We need consistency over a prolonged base of time, and I don't think that is something he currently has. Now, for me, people, I like Locatelli. I personally, if there is a deal to be done, I wouldn't be against it. I do feel if you look at the data to see how he ranks versus some of the current Arsenal midfielders, you can see various different pros and cons. While when you look at potential other midfield targets that have been linked with our football club, their statistics look a lot better in certain regards. Now, every midfielder has different strengths and weaknesses. We've been linked with a whole range of different midfielders that are stronger or weaker at other aspects, people. And obviously, a lot of the data is skewed. A lot of it is due to how our teams performed, how many minutes have been played, and all of those kind of things, people. Ultimately, people, I think the price tag, the lack of goals, the fact that we were burnt in the past where we had a failed pursuit of Locatelli. Juventus have also sacked Maximiliano Allegri, and we don't know who the new manager of Juventus is going to be at the time of making this video and his plans for Locatelli. I think it's one to stay clear of, really. And I mean that in a nice way. I think he's got the quality. I think he's got the ability. Clearly, you know, if Arsenal are still consistently linked with him and links have persisted since we failed to pursue him successfully, there must be something to like. I just feel he's a player we've got admiration for, a player Mikel Arteta and the coaching and analytical staff have clearly ran the rule over, but one that I think we're steering clear. And I just simply think Mikel Arteta has other targets in mind. Whether we're able to sign, you know, the Bruno Gomares, the Onanas, the Zubamendis, the Luizes are another thing, people. We'll have to see what the future has in store for both Locatelli and what Arsenal want to do, not just where central midfield is concerned, but in all aspects as we look to get closer and closer towards winning a Premier League title and pipping Manchester City to that next season. With that being said, though, let me know your thoughts on Locatelli. If there was a deal to be done, would you do it? Would you stay clear of it? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.